You have a headache, you are tired, your focus is slipping, and your first thought is usually stress, screens, or lack of sleep. But what if the real problem is much simpler? What if your body has been asking for water long before the pain showed up? That is what makes water and headaches such an important topic. The connection can be easy to overlook because dehydration does not always feel dramatic at first. Sometimes it begins quietly, with dry lips, brain fog, low energy, or a slight heaviness building behind the eyes. Then the headache arrives, and now everything feels harder. Work feels slower, light feels sharper, and even basic tasks start to feel annoying. Many people treat the pain without noticing the pattern that may have led to it in the first place. In this video, we are going to break down how water and headaches may be connected, why dehydration can affect the head so quickly, what signs to watch for, and what simple habits may help. Stay with me, because one small hydration mistake could be costing you more than you think. Let us start with the big idea. Your body depends on water for almost everything, including circulation, temperature control, energy balance, and normal brain function. When hydration drops, even a little, the body may start working harder to keep everything stable. For some people, that shift can show up as a headache. It may feel dull, tight, throbbing, or just heavy and distracting. You might notice it after a long meeting, a workout, a hot day, too much coffee, or simply a busy day where drinking water kept getting pushed aside. The tricky part is that dehydration headaches do not always announce themselves clearly. You may not feel obviously thirsty. Instead, you feel off, slow, irritable, or mentally drained. That makes it easy to blame anything else before you think about water. Say you understand that hydration is part of your body's daily balance sheet, the picture starts to make more sense. A headache may not always be caused by low water, but when your internal reserve drops too far, your head can be one of the first places to complain. The main problem is that many people run low on water without realizing it. They wake up slightly dehydrated, rush into the day, drink coffee before water, sit for hours, and only notice their body when the headache finally becomes impossible to ignore. Because the symptoms build gradually, the connection gets missed. A person may blame tension, hunger, poor sleep, or eye strain, and sometimes those factors are part of the story too. But low hydration can quietly lower the body's comfort margin in the background. That is why one day feels manageable and another feels awful, even with the same schedule. Add heat, exercise, travel, alcohol, illness, or simply forgetting to drink enough, and the body's water budget can dip lower than expected before you realize what is happening. Then the cycle gets worse. The headache makes you feel too tired or nauseated to drink much, or you reach for more caffeine instead of water. Now the body is already under strain, and the relief you need may be delayed by habits that push the balance further off. So what is actually going on? When your body loses more fluid than it takes in, several systems have to adjust. Blood volume can shift, circulation may become less efficient, and the brain and surrounding tissues may become more sensitive to those internal changes. That does not mean every headache is caused by dehydration, but it does explain why low fluid intake can make the head feel tight, achy, or foggy in some people. The body is trying to protect function while running on a smaller hydration reserve than it prefers. Electrolyte balance can matter too, especially after sweating, illness, or heavy exertion. Water is not just about liquid. It is part of a larger balance system. If you lose fluid and minerals together, the body may struggle even more to feel steady and comfortable. Think of your body like a city with a water supply and pressure system. When the reservoir is full, everything runs smoothly. But when the supply drops and demand rises, pressure changes begin to affect the whole system. In some people, that strain shows up as headache pain. Here is the breakthrough. The headache itself is not always the first signal. The earlier signals often come before it. Dry mouth, low energy, irritability, dark urine, poor concentration, feeling unusually warm, or a strange drop in mental sharpness can all show up first. Once you start noticing those clues, water and headache stop feeling random. You begin to see timing. Maybe the pain hits late afternoon after too much coffee and not enough water. Maybe it shows up after workouts, long errands, or travel days when your routine falls apart. That shift matters because it turns guesswork into pattern recognition. Instead of reacting only when the pain is already strong, you can catch the low reservoir stage early. An early correction often feels a lot easier than trying to recover when the headache is already in full control. The goal is not to obsess over every sip. The goal is awareness. When you understand how your body behaves before the headache arrives, you can make small decisions earlier in the day that protect energy, focus, comfort, and maybe prevent the pain from taking over. So what can you do? First, stop waiting until you feel very thirsty. Start the day with water, especially after sleep. Then keep drinking regularly instead of trying to catch up all at once later. Steady intake usually works better than a last-minute hydration rescue. Second, pay attention to context. If it is hot, if you are exercising, if you are sick, if you had alcohol, or if you drink a lot of caffeine, your water needs may change. On those days, your usual routine may not be enough to keep your body comfortable. Third, notice whether you may also need more than plain water. After heavy sweating or stomach illness, electrolyte replacement may matter too. And remember, ongoing headaches are not something to self-diagnose forever. Water can help some headaches, but it is not the answer to every one. Finally, know when to get medical advice. Seek help if the headache is sudden, severe, unusual, or comes with fainting, confusion, weakness, fever, vomiting, or vision changes. If headaches keep happening often, it is worth getting a proper evaluation instead of guessing. The reassuring part is this: if water is contributing to your headaches, that is a pattern you can work with. A small hydration habit may seem simple, but simple things can have a huge effect when they are repeated consistently across busy days. Try not to think of hydration as a perfect rule. Think of it as maintenance for your body's daily operating system. When your internal water balance is supported, energy often feels steadier, focus may improve, and your body has a better chance to stay out of headache mode. Still, this video is for education only and does not replace personal medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Headaches can have many causes, and severe or persistent symptoms deserve real medical attention. It is always better to check than to keep hoping the pattern disappears. And if your body has been giving you small warning signs before a headache, do not ignore them. A little earlier attention could save you from a much harder afternoon. Sometimes the smartest relief starts long before the pain becomes the center of your day. Now you know why water and headaches can be connected, why dehydration can feel subtle at first, and why the pain often makes more sense when you notice the pattern earlier. Your body may be showing you signs long before the headache fully arrives. After this video, do one simple thing. Check your water habit honestly. Not perfectly, just honestly. Ask yourself whether your day supports your body before the stress, heat, caffeine, or long hours begin stacking up. That answer alone can change what happens next. And remember, this content is educational and not a substitute for medical care. If your headache is severe, sudden, or different from your usual pattern, contact a qualified healthcare professional as soon as possible. Your health deserves attention, especially when symptoms start changing. If you want more simple health content like this, subscribe to the channel. And if this video helped you, leave a comment with your experience, your questions, or your suggestion for the next topic. Your story may help someone else feel understood, informed, and less alone.